Ah yes, the soothing sounds of yard work over there. Maybe a leaf blower. The sun is peeking up there over the horizon. Here in Celebration, Florida. A little walk and talk. Been doing quite a few of these, but I have something on my mind and just want to get it out there. Something I've been thinking about doing, contemplating. Not 100% sure what my thoughts are on it, but I just want to think out loud, if you will. And I have a little coffee here. Boy, that is, there you go. You can kind of see I just procured, you know what this is. There's no reason to state it again. As I walk around, sometimes I'll, it's a, okay, fine. It's a piping hot caffeinated beverage. I don't know why I always get the hot ones and not iced coffees, which a lot are very fond of. I've even gone through a point in my life where I drink a lot of iced coffee, but I have developed an affinity for the non-iced coffee. And they did not put my name on it. They didn't even ask for my name because there was hardly anyone there this early. It says, for here. But that's it. Oh, for here, meaning it was, you know, over there on the corner is the Starbucks. It's not for here like it would be for Adam. So my name wouldn't be here, but it'd be for here. What are my thoughts? Oh yeah, I'm inviting you, turning this around, flipping the screen up, well, that's what that noise is. Welcome everyone. Out of the woo here. Oh there, look. Celebration, Florida, 1994. Discussion that I'm inviting you to join me to have. Shall you? That's warm. The vaccine, it's something that's circling around everyone's mind, or circling around in the bloodstreams of a lot of folks. Was that how but let me preface this by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I am not an expert. In fact, I wouldn't even consider myself a moderate novice on anything medical. These are just personal opinions and thoughts. And from a 46 and a half, no, yeah, 46, gosh, 36, I wish. 46, boy, just step back a decade there. 46 and a half year old man that goes out every day, more or less every day, and is around large congregations of people, even during these times. Just, you know, there's people everywhere. So take everything with a grain of salt. And this is what I'm thinking. And get a little view of some Florida wildlife. This bird here, poking around in the water, trying to get a little breakfast. Hello. Oh, I didn't mean to startle you. Did I startle you, or did a fish down in there startle you? See some fish down in there? So it has been definitely an interesting year. Last year, 2020, I went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and it was a real beehive of activity for sure. There were a lot of people there, up close, personal, no elbow room, smushed in with a lot of other bead catching folk, including myself. And shortly after that, made it out here to Central Florida for the opening day of Mickey and Minnie Runaway, which was also very, very busy. Saw a lot of people who knew who I was, gave a lot of hugs, gave a lot of handshakes. A couple days later, I think maybe a day or two later, is when the news really broke about what was going on in the world. And it was scary. It was very terrifying, not only for me, but for a lot of other people. And didn't really know how to embrace it. I didn't really know how to wrap my head around the situation. And I had a flight home to Southern California. Was staying at my parents' house. I should probably walk. Let's walk. Here's another fowl there. Oh, getting a little bath. Hello. Oh, there's another one over here. Boy, we are just in bird haven or bird heaven. Staying at my parents' then, because I did not have a place yet here in town. I had not got my secondary homestead, Florida counterpart to my SoCal establishment. It's interesting how well, it's not interesting. I mean, it just makes sense, but it's very silhouetted out over there because the sun has not risen above the tree line. And I was out here for like 6 weeks. I thought, when am I gonna go home? I kept postponing flights. I can't remember if flights were stopped or not. Nonetheless, it was a frightening time because no one really knew what was happening. No one knew what was going on. Eventually, after about 6 weeks, well, while I was here, I was still doing things. I was going on hikes, staying away from people, doing things, but then staying in my parents' guest room, which frightened me because no one really knew the implications of what was happening. So I tried to stay away from everyone, including my family, as much as possible. But I needed to get home. So I eventually, after about 6 weeks, booked a flight, completely empty flight. There was no one, well, I say empty. There was maybe about 8 to 10 people. I did a video on it. Empty, completely empty airliner. And on that flight was the first time that they said, you didn't have to, but they suggested, they said, it would be best, not if you remove them, don't best, let me get over here so you can kind of see, best not remove them, but it might be best if you put these on, which I did. That was the first time I was on that flight back from here to California that I did that. And it was kind of awkward. I thought, man, this is weird. I don't like this at all. And I felt that way for a little while. I got back. I stayed at home for 14 days. I did about 5 or 6 home vlogs, which ended up being about the only home vlogs that I ever did. Started going out, going on bike rides, walking. I started doing the food series. I think I did that for 40, maybe 50 days. And that kind of saved me. That really helped. That really helped save my mental attitude on doing things, on staying moderately sane, if you will. Because it gave me something to do. There were no theme parks open, there were no parks open. You couldn't even, with Los Angeles and Orange County, you couldn't even really go to any like normal parks. You couldn't even do this. You couldn't even walk around. A lot of the hiking trails in the mountains, all closed off. It was a wild time. Scary time. Fast forward a couple months, Walt Disney World reopened. They announced that into early July 2020. Wow, wow, that is wild to say that Walt Disney World opened in summer of 2020, and Disneyland has not even opened yet. They're opening in about a week to 10 days. A year, almost a year, well, not quite a year, 10 or 11 months after Walt Disney World. Correlation between Florida and California, rules, regulations, perception, you know, just what is stated, the vibe. Very interesting how state to states are. And maybe I experience it a little more than some because I do have places and I see what it's like on each one, going from here to there, and then it's different there, you come here, totally different vibe. All that aside, came back out here for the openings, reopenings. Magic Kingdom was there on the very first annual pass holder preview day. Limited capacity, 15%. There was relatively anyone in the park. And that is when I started to get these in my head. Now, I had been wearing these, even on going hiking out in California, doing the outdoor videos, getting back here, and I became very accustomed to this. And I will go on record that I do not mind having this on at all. For me, someone who goes out every day and is around people, I have not been sick. Knock on wood. Is there wood here? I have not been sick in over a year. Except for maybe a sniffle for 1 second, or an allergy where I sneezed for 2 seconds. That's it. Haven't had any sickness. Once again, don't want to put that into the universe. And I think a lot of it has to do with I have been sanitizing my hands more, cleaning more. Society in general is following the guidelines, staying away. No one is doing 6 feet anymore. Well, I say no one, very limited percentage. Even at the theme parks, even though it's stated, you get out into the open areas, people are just really close to you. So I have no issue with this. In fact, I like them a lot. I don't want someone sneezing, coughing, talking in my face. I just don't like that. I didn't like it before. So if anything positive comes out of the last year, I would say at least, you know, there are a good percentage of folks who will keep their distance, and I would like to keep it that way. You know, talking to someone, no close talkers, no. This way, no one needs to be up here. And if they are, I get this on. Now these might not be mandated at some point, but I feel, I've talked about this with some of my friends, I feel like for a while in massive crowds, conventions, theme parks, you know, obviously I'm not wearing one right now. I have it when I went in to get my coffee over across the water there. But when there's no one around, you know, if someone walks by and they are a few feet away, I don't really throw it back on. But if I know I'm going to be going into a congregation of folks, then yes. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. You can dictate what you do. You cannot dictate what others do. And I have noticed there are a lot of people who do not, someone's laughing. There are a lot of people who really don't have concern for others. You know, so you got to watch your own back. And that's what I try to do. You know, even if I'm in a line somewhere and someone down the way a ways is coughing, I'll give everyone a 3-cough rule. So someone coughs, I think, okay, maybe they drank something cold. You cold? Give it a little cough. Don't stomp your feet. Give a little cough. Or you eat something that went down the wrong way, you get a little cough. A couple of, you know, give people a couple of those. And that's just a 3rd or 4th cough, especially if it's a intense cough that you can tell is coming from the areas that are not healthy. I will walk away, I'll get out of line, and I'll go somewhere else. That also goes for restaurants. If I'm eating anywhere, let's say here, one of the parks, on the road, and someone a few tables over gives more than 3 or 4 coughs in a 1-minute period. If they cough, then a minute later they cough again, a minute later they cough again, I'm out of there. I just don't want to take any chance. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to feel bad. I do not want to feel ill, not eel. I wonder if there's any eels in here. So let's talk about the vaccine. I know nothing about this. I know like what some friends have told me, and I've seen a few things online, but I don't watch the news. I don't have social media. Well, I do have some social media, but I don't follow anyone. I don't have a news feed. Through any of the platforms on social media that I have, I don't see anybody's posts or feeds, so I don't get perspective from a lot of others. I'm not inundated with either side. So this is just going off of the basis of what I know and kind of how I feel. A little rambling. Here we go. This is what is kind of stirring around in my head. So, hypothetically, I haven't gotten a shot in the arm. I'm not scared of needles. I have tattoos. Well, it's been a long time since I got a tattoo, but I have tattoos. That is done with a needle. I have no problem. It's probably kind of fun to get a little jab in the arm there. I think that's what people are calling it, the jab. I think, is it something I need to have? Yes. It is said that you have to have it. But I need on a personal basis. As stated, I have not been sick. Hello? Shaving a haircut, is that what it's called? It is starting to look as if there are going to be some regulations where I cannot travel without doing it. If I don't do it, there's places I'm not going to be able to go into. And I'm not planning on doing any heavy, well, I am doing a little traveling in May, but I wanted to do some heavy traveling into mid-July. Very, very, very heavy traveling. I wanted to go back to Southern California in early July. I would like to go to Disneyland at that time. Also, side note, I heard a rumor that California might let people from out of state go to the theme parks, even though they probably are anyway, because they're probably not checking. But none, that's beside the point. It is going to be non-frowned upon to go if you get the you-know-what. And then you have to have that little ID. So that got the mind thinking. Now, I'm not going to rush out there. I have no plans to go back out there for 2 months. But then I thought, what if this is something, also out there, California, I think some of the arenas, some of the bigger events, you are going to be required to show that ID. So then I thought, wow, maybe this is something that I have to have. My thoughts. Now, this is all coming from not a, like Forrest Gump, I'm not a smart man at all. I'm pretty good with math. I'm good with math. That's about it. And things that if I'm interested in something, I'm attentive to it. But everything else, a lot of it's just, yeah, I'm just in one ear and out the other. Just like get distracted, obviously. I'm paying more attention to whatever that creature is making that noise in the woods right over there than what my thoughts are. There's probably a medical term for that. I have been looking at some of the local places that I can get this done at. So I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I don't know if it's the right decision, but I am contemplating it, putting my thoughts out there into the spewing my thoughts. It's good to do that. It's good to think out loud. Speaking of math, doing the math on it. So for the last solid year, well, let's say since July of 2020, so not 10 months, 11 months, I've been doing stuff pretty much every day, around people every day, traveling, going to populated areas, granted, wearing the facial covering, which I have in my back pocket right now, I discussed that I have no problems wearing, will continue to wear when I am around others and in larger groups or inside places that require it. No issues with that whatsoever. Out of all the people that I've been around, close proximity to others, when things were a little more dangerous, a little more frightening, when it was definitely a little more expansive with this all floating around, and now it is starting to subside based on what I am questioning getting. You know, the numbers are dropping considerably. There is not as much, the people aren't scared as much, there's not as much fear. So the average of me getting it would be less right now based than it was in the last year. So if I made it through the last year, is it something that I should get on a personal level? See, this is what rolls through my mind. And I don't want to feel bad. So getting this is going to make me feel, it might not be anything. It might just be a quick little pain, but I've heard that people will get sick sometimes with the second shot for up to 24 to 48 hours, and they will have some nausea. They will have some other symptoms. I haven't had any of that in over a year, so I am now thinking by me getting something that's supposed to help, it's going to make me sick for the first time since all this began. That's what I have a tough time wrapping my head around. But then I also think, what about this could help in the grand scheme of things? This could help not just me, but others. Will it help others, or is it made just to help the individual? So if it's made just to help the individual, which would be me, that is not a worry of mine. I am not I'm not worried about me. I think I'll be okay. I think I've passed the cusp of being worried for myself. But I want to do what's right. I want to help others and not, you know, if you see me out and about, you will always realize, especially if it's someone I do not know, I'll always have the facial covering on. I'll keep my distance unless I'm eating, or if it's like, you know, walking around like that. So it's just it's a new thing for me, and it seems like it would, yeah, it seems so simple. Just go get it out. Just go get it. And maybe I will, but I wanted to express this. And if and when I choose to do that, I will state that in some fashion. It will be known that I have done that when that happens. Might do it later today, might not do it at all. But I have some questions. I have some reservations, like not reservations to go get it done, which I can make easily and be done with it by this afternoon or tomorrow. Well, maybe it takes a little bit longer than that. It's just new to me. It's a new thing to me. Probably even not the best idea to even put this out there, because people are going to get there. They're going to think I'm going to one side or the other, which, rest assured, you will find none of that with me. Everything has to be, anytime anyone states anything, they have to be on either side. Whoa, man, that is bright. Woo, woo, look at that, that's bright, that sun is bright. You know, it's kind of, oh, hello, you just startled me. I would think, you know, from those I've talked to, most people that don't want to get it also don't want to wear the facial coverings. I'm the opposite of that, as stated the reasons. I just really I like the distancing. I like people, you know, I thought about handshaking, giving a handshake, which is the thing to do. Give a big firm handshake, but then you're getting all up in someone else, you know, right up there in their palm and all that, sweatiness and all that. If you're making a deal, you're selling a business, you're buying a car, you're making a promise, you're making a pact to a friend. I get it, but since I've been doing this, I meet a lot more people than I did when I was younger. More people start to kind of know who I am based on watching the videos. So on a consistent basis, I'd be shaking people's hands a lot. Someone would see me, hey, how you doing? Give a handshake. I've kind of like got accustomed to the fist bump. I like the fist bump. And I'm gonna be a fist bumper for a while. So if you see me out and about anywhere, give me a fist bump. I'm all about the fist bump. Afterwards, we can go, you know, you can go your way, I'll go my way. We'll have a little hand washing extravaganza, or put our palms underneath one of those sanitizing stations. You know, going our separate ways would be awkward if we met, shook hands, and then walked over to a sanitizing station together. Maybe it wouldn't be so awkward. There's Howard over there. Howard the Duck. Also hugs. I like giving hugs. But sometimes giving a lot of hugs to people that I do not know, which does happen consistently, or did before all this started. Maybe that's part of the reason probably why I would occasionally get sick. All right, I pretty much stated so much, yet said so little. Really did not get my point across. If I did, you have a better system of understanding. myself than I do. It is an interesting time. This is another development in the ongoing saga of 2020, now into, well, 2021. 2020 had its own obstacles. 2021 now has its own obstacles. The biggest portion of why I want to do this, if it is required for travel, I'm gonna have to do it. It's got to be done. If I'm gonna be hindered from doing my job and going to places, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna happen. I just wanted to put out my feelings out there. It's confusing to me to be told that you have to have something. That doesn't work in my mind. I'm very stubborn. Stubbornness is definitely a part of me. But you know, a funny thing though, I was not stubborn about these. A lot of people were. I'm not stubborn about these. In fact, I kind of like it. So maybe this is the right choice. Could be the right choice. There are negative aspects. I've seen some stuff that there are some side effects and whatnot, but I guess you have to just embrace that as well. See, now I'm going back and forth because I don't know the answer. But I want to travel. I want to do some road trips. I want to get on some planes and go places. And I don't want to be halted from that. Which, you know, is also kind of a problem if you're being told you have to do something and then halted from doing that because you have not done that. But then again, you have to wear a seatbelt. You can't walk around naked. See, there's both sides. You can walk around naked, but it would be not here. Ooh. And you don't want to see this. Wandering around here, nude. That's it. This is gonna generate a large discussion, and I like hearing from others. Sometimes I will be asked, why do you put that out there? Why do you say certain things? Why are you even divulging this information? It's because I really don't know the answers to some things, and I would like to know what the consensus is. Not that I am going to take what everyone is saying and do that. But we live in a world where everyone has different thoughts, and no one technically is right or wrong. Well, certain things they are right or wrong about. But everyone lives their life their own way and does what they feel is right. And based on their situation, my situation as a single, late 40s, well 46-year-old man, lives alone, my situation would be different than someone else's who has a big family, doesn't travel, doesn't do kind of what I'm doing. And I always try to keep that in mind with everything, all walks of life, people I meet, what their stance is on religion, politics, everyday life. Everyone's different. Someone who rents an apartment is going to think differently than someone who owns a home. You're going to have different thoughts on the situation, you know, with what goes on in their local area. Someone who works a job, punches a clock, 9 to 5, is going to think a little bit differently than someone who runs their own business. Someone with no kids is going to think like me, is going to think considerably different than someone who has 4 or 5. There's a guy over there with an axe. Or no, I think it's a sledgehammer. Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance. Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance. This isn't on, this fountain's not on. Well, that's a deep cut reference when it comes to an axe. I'm sure someone will get it. Okay, I've said everything I need to say. I'm gonna make my decision soon. I want to travel. I want to do what's right. But I don't know what that is. Right, squirrel? I kind of feel like I know. I kind of feel like I know. As Operation Ivy says, all I know is that I don't know nothing. Truer words could not be said about me. Truer words, Op Ivy. The vlog is over.